everybody. Welcome to the Moms View. Look, we've got the whole crew. We got the band back together. Colette, Angel, Kayli, Carly, and me, Shaytards. Hope you guys are doing good. We missed you. Colette, let's start with you. How have you been? What's new? Update us.
So much has happened. I feel like I haven't been here forever, which it has been a few months.
Yes.
So you guys are awesome.
I'm so happy to be here. You're so warm.
I know.
Oh no.
I'm like, you all still got her. We just have to wait.
I know, she gets to sit right in the middle. You guys can just enjoy her.
We're weird. Don't worry about it. But really good. We went to Playlist, and we really missed you guys being able to be there.
Yeah, I was sad. I was sad to watch the footage. I was just like, I wish me and Sharcy were there.
Next year.
Next
We
year.
definitely talked about you guys on the panel and how much we love you guys.
Thank
'Cause
you.
We do, and
I'll make
this is
sure
a
I'll
good group.
give you the money for that.
I really would have appreciated your insights and everything on the questions. There were some good questions. But yeah, so, and we started a clothing line, Trixon.
Awesome.
So a lot has happened.
And Angel's here.
I know, Angel, I didn't know if I was going
still
to
here.
see you for this episode,
I
and I'm
didn't either.
so glad that I did.
The boys were like, Mom, we'll let you go to work.
Yeah.
We'll let you go.
One more time.
Yeah, you know, I've been taking it really easy, just sitting on my couch, waiting, talking to them like, hey, any day now. But they're good. My bigger one, he's probably close to 8 pounds now.
What?
Yeah, that's what we're doing. Yeah,
right?
that's what we're doing in this belly.
You have an 8-pound baby in there and another one.
Yeah, that's over 6. Yeah.
And she doesn't even look like she's gained an ounce.
I know.
It's just all growing out.
Well, I've been.
Just wait, this is the size of a belly with one 8-pound baby.
Yeah, well,
Yeah. Wow.
well, they're taking up all the space. Like the 8-pound one, his head is like somewhere down here, and his feet are underneath my rib cage. Yeah, he's
They're snuggling.
yeah. It was so cute when I went to the. I had to go to a specialist, so there was a tech there. That's all she does is are the ultrasound. So she's really good at it. It was so sweet because like almost as soon as she got the instrument on me, I saw their heads together. They were like head to head. I was just like, oh my baby! Ah! And then I saw their faces, which I had not seen in like 5.5 months, and I literally screamed. I was like, I am so sorry. And one has the fattest cheeks of life. And everybody's like, he looks like little Marcus. And the other one was pouting. And I was just like, I can't with you right now.
That's so
I cannot. But yeah, they're
both
both.
of their heads are.
Yeah, they're down. Yes, they are down.
And that's where they're going to stay.
Yeah.
And they're going to just slide out.
There's no way they can. If one of them flips, he's then flipped out of me.
Right.
There's no way for him to go. Yeah. So we're back to being a good candidate to have these babies vaginally. So I'm excited about that. But they're healthy. My doctor thinks I'm going to go at least 39 weeks. He's like, I was like, okay, all right. Okay. I mean, but it gives me a goal. I'm like, okay, maybe 2 more weeks. But I can't complain. Like, and I won't complain. So yeah, we're just excited, excited and nervous, but more excited than anything.
awesome.
Yeah. How was your baby shower, the superhero baby shower? I love those invitations. Oh my god.
The invitations were a comic strip. I can't end with one baby in a Superman outfit with his gut hanging out. And I was just like, this is all I want in life. It was so nice. It was so, I mean, I'm just so blessed. All of the baby showers, I'm spoiled, but all of the baby showers were amazing. This one obviously just blew my brains out. I just couldn't even believe it. And that one was just so gorgeous. So what's been going on with your baby? And babies?
My baby, so cute. He just got front teeth. They look like permanent teeth.
They're so big.
They're so big. I'm like really wondering if they are permanent teeth. They haven't popped all the way through, but fingers crossed.
Cute.
Anyways, yeah. Oh, Casey did have a big hunting premiere where he got to show a big film. So that was really exciting for him.
Oh,
because,
great.
you know, that's his dream. And he loves hunting and he loves animals. And, you know, to be able to see his passion on a big screen was just so amazing.
Awesome.
And he did really, really well.
And it was different than really anything like our family's done. And it was just like such a different audience like there. It was just good to really see him be passionate and see like the dreams coming to life. And it's like, oh, this is what YouTube is all about.
If you know Casey, he's pretty private and he just kind of stands back. So to see him like shining and doing what he loves and seeing his passion was just so amazing.
Nice.
So I'm really, really proud of him.
You know, hunting seems like, oh my God, you are killing an innocent animal, but then there's a big difference, like you were saying, some people hunt just to kill. And they don't do anything with the meat or the bones or anything. And Casey, it sounds like he is there doing everything.
Right.
And using all the parts. And I think that's really cool.
Casey really appreciates the animal and what it provides for our family. You know, after he kills the animal, he'll cry because he's grateful, and it's kind of like this mix of, you know, a spiritual experience and just gratitude, and it really is special, and I wish that people would take the time to understand where he's coming from before they just feel like they need to say such awful things. You know, people are saying, if he can kill an animal, he's a terrible person. And, you know, I blocked some people on Instagram because I was
That's what
like,
you
you will
sometimes.
not say that about my husband on my Instagram.
Right. Yeah. Anyway, CarlieStylez.
Keep it light.
What's going on with you? How's life? What's
Make
new?
things
It's
a little more
fabulous.
positive. Okay, so beginning of 2015, I really wanted Cooper and I to do something about giving back. I'm like, I've been feeling like there's been just so much focus on myself. I'm like, how can I do something with Cooper to give back? And so I've been talking with my friend. I've like kind of hired her to help get my life just, you know when you feel like you just start so many things, but there's nothing in motion, but there's a lot on the table.
Totally.
So I was like, I will pay you if you could just help me get things rolling, because there's a lot on my plate right now. And so I told her, I'm like, I really want to team up with a charity. Some things that Cooper can learn to give back to other people. I don't know what charity. I don't have time to do the research right now. That was a goal. So this crazy thing happened. This girl called me that she was a dancer. I was a cheerleader in college, and she's heading up this nonprofit standalone organization. And she's like, we just think that you and Cooper would be a perfect fit. They're heading up this baseball program in the Dominican Republic for these little boys who love and just cherish baseball. And Cooper's dad actually played baseball, so Cooper has been sleeping with a baseball since he was like in the crib. Like literally, he would fall asleep with a baseball. So that's a huge project we're working on. Cooper and I are going to go to the Dominican Republic this summer. And so I'm excited but nervous, because to take him out of the country is like a little nerve-wracking. But it'll be good for him to see just a different way of life, and how it is to live with so much less. And so hopefully we're going to team up with somebody to sponsor some like equipment and uniforms, and kind of put together like a summer baseball camp for these kids to have something like a refuge to go to of like a sport they love. So that'll be exciting, and I'm
Really
grateful.
proud of you, Carly. That's
I didn't do it. She called me and was just like, I just thought of you out of nowhere. And we literally, like, we've kept in touch over social media. That's like a blessing. But she just randomly called and was like, I just feel like that, like, God, like, lined us up in a way where you could work with us. And I was like, that's so crazy, because I literally haven't found an organization that, like, stuck with us. So it's called Children of the Nation, if you guys want to check it out, and we're really excited.
Is that the one about hugs?
Yeah, and
something about hugs?
they also work with other so they really look to home kids who have been like abandoned because they are sick, or their parents have Ebola, so they've kicked their kids out because they don't want them to get sick. And so they also have a campaign called Bringing Back Hugs, and it's talking about like children who just are neglected because their families are not around. They're thrown into orphanages, they're living in the streets, whatever. And to imagine a child like living without the personal affection that I crave attention. Like when I get my feet rubbed at a pedicure, I'm like, thank you. Thanks for touching me.
Yep.
Or when you said you had your gum rubbed by Dennis.
Oh, yes. I remember that moment.
So that was the post, Bringing Back Hugs. So if you guys want to check that out. And then one more other exciting thing.
Tell me,
This
yeah.
is big news.
I'm here
I
all day,
haven't announced this
honey.
to anybody.
Keep going. Yeah.
So I finally have decided to team up with a supplement company called NLA for Her, and I'm going to be one of their team athlete brand ambassadors as Women in Fitness.
Oh, yes.
Yay. Well, I'm not surprised about that one.
Congratulations.
Yeah, that one
Very
seems
nice.
right up your alley.
Thank
and
you.
Very exciting.
I feel like maybe this will be like my niche. Like you guys all have your thing that you're known for, and it's like, what the heck does Carly do?
I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah.
You do.
Yes,
Okay.
I do. I have a niche.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna be they're having a big expo, and it's gonna be my first one. So if you're gonna be at Columbus, Ohio, come to the Arnold Expo and give me a hug. Back to you, darling. What's new with you?
Well, let's see. What do I want to share with you guys? It's been good. January was the craziest month like ever, so February was a little bit calmer than that, which I was happy about. And my mommy was just here for like 8 days, and I'm really sad that she's gone. I've been working with my girlfriend, Susan, for doing the show for her channel on mixed makeup, and we finally came up with a name for the show.
Oh, good.
Well, by the time this goes up, we're calling it The Sass, which is a totally different direction. But actually, Angel, you did win. So we're gonna hook you up with some beauty stuff, because on my channel, when I had announced that I was doing this new show, and I said if you guys want to help me name the show, whoever has the most thumbs up on the comments will get like a nice box of beauty goodies, and everybody loved your suggestion, so you win. So it wasn't like rigged. You guys voted for Angel's things on my channel, so.
And I'm keeping it. I'm not giving it
We're
away.
calling it The Sass. We wanted to get the
love
word
it.
beauty out of it. We wanted to
Okay.
keep it fun, and it's also the Shahrzad and Susan show.
What?
So we just kind of thought it was like fun, or Susan and Shahrzad, whatever. And so that's fun. So hopefully by the time this goes up, the first episode will be going up, and we try some crazy things, which I won't tell you about yet because you have to watch that series. But I've just been busting my buns on my channel, trying to grow it, and
I've noticed.
just making videos a ton, just trying a lot of different things, you know, travel vlogs and cooking videos with my mom. I got to do a lot of stuff, so just been working. Thank you. I'm having so much fun making them, and I just want to keep doing them. And I'm just trying really hard to just build my channel every time I get some downtime. So hopefully you guys will subscribe to it. Yes. And just busy on like world domination, you know? Always that. Just that old thing. Okay, so today our topic of the day is kind of exploring diversity, and we're going to talk about when we've experienced it. I know we all come from different places, totally different backgrounds. And I know you guys obviously have done California, Idaho, and you've experienced different things, and I'm just going to go out on a limb here and say it's a little different in terms of diversity in California than Idaho.
Less cows.
Yeah.
Right, just less tractors. You don't get stuck behind a tractor on the way to school.
Yeah, like, oh, come on.
Yeah, I thought it was really a positive thing for my kids to move out here because there isn't much diversity from where I'm from. I'm from such a small little farm town in Utah. So to move out here was so positive, and to see different cultures and for my kids to be in that and experience that was great because, you know, in their school, they were the minority. There weren't very many white kids in the school that they went to.
Right.
But they didn't notice that, and I loved that they didn't notice. You know, notice.
Yeah.
Right.
Notice. It was just normal, and that wasn't normal for me growing up. When I would go and travel somewhere, and there were different cultures around me, I was kind of just like, I didn't know how to act. I didn't want to be rude. I was worried that they wouldn't like me. So for them just to be comfortable with that was such a positive thing.
Cool.
Good. I like how you said like they didn't notice. Like kids, like because I think that we moved them out when they were so much younger. Like it's like other human beings. They don't need to realize like we are all different, but we're all human beings, and there's no reason why we shouldn't be just treating each other all the same.
Right.
You know, it's Johnny from school, not a specific type of thing.
Right.
Yes, exactly.
So it was great, like you said, like it was good for them. It's just like to have culture and like, you know, something different than Idaho. Utah.
Yeah, I noticed that, and my son, like his best friend is a little Jewish boy named Milo. Like it's his heart, right? And they love each other to pieces. And I love that when we've done play dates with other friends, Milo will be the only white child there. There'll be an Asian boy. There's one little boy who is like, he's half black, half Latino. And they all can see that they look different, but it doesn't matter.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Which is what I love, because I'm not a person that believes in everyone should be colorblind. No, we are all beautiful. I want to notice what makes you beautiful. I don't want to be like, I don't see that you have gorgeous eyes and dark hair or that you're blonde.
Yeah.
I feel like God made us different for a reason. We should appreciate it. But I don't want there to be so much importance on it that you feel like, well, I can't.
Like you have to act differently.
Yeah.
Yes, because of that. So, like, I'm glad that, so my son doesn't even know, he doesn't know different races yet, which I love. He calls himself brown, and he would call you all peach. But not that you all are different, but that's the color that he would take out of the crayon box to color you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I know the day that when he, if he ever comes home and says he's black, I'll know that, okay, whatever you're around now is now teaching you race. Which is a whole different complex thing that I'm like, no 5-year-old needs to understand right now. You know what I'm saying? And also, I want to teach you from a cultural standpoint what that means. I don't want someone else trying to teach you that and what it should mean to you, or whatever.
Oh, interesting.
So that's something that I'm like really excited about, that he really, I'm telling you, it's not, he has no idea what race is. I actually didn't use the word white person once, and he was like, what is that? Because he's like, that doesn't make any, I've never seen anyone that I would take a white crayon out and color them with.
So sweet. The innocence of children
I know,
is the best.
it's so beautiful.
The best.
Angel, I want to get to you too, but when you were growing up, did you feel like you were ever different, or what was your childhood like?
One, I'm used to be in the minority, like it.
In California? Or
everywhere.
Everywhere. Okay.
Yes. Even though I had experiences where I didn't have to be the minority. Like we went to a church that was predominantly black. And so all of my friends there were mostly black kids. And I was kind of drawn to the people who looked like me. So even in school, however, in classes, a lot of times I might be the only black student in the class, and so I'd have friends that were not. So it wasn't a bad thing for me, just because, again, I got used to not seeing my reflection and knowing how to be around people who might not be used to being around people that look like me or grew up like I did. So I ended up being a lot of people's only black friend. Now that eventually got irritating. That did. I was like, God dang it, there are a lot of us around. You find someone. That was that was the one part of my growing up experience that eventually did get just a little bit irritating when I was just like, especially when I got to
novelty or something?
Well, when I got to my 20s and I was just like, why am I the first that you have befriended? I know I'm not the only nice one you've met. Like, come on, like, they'll be like, you're my first black friend. I'll be like, well, you're not my first white one.
Just so you know. And you won't be my last.
Yeah, I'm like, that was one big thing I did not want for Marcus, was that experience of, one, you are the only black kid all the time and having to be a representative of your culture. That should not have to be on your shoulder. And two, for him not to have that, you're my only Asian friend, or you're my only whatever friend. I wanted him to be able to feel like he's getting to experience more than just, because even I, coming from Kentucky, there wasn't a plethora of people of Asian descent. When I came to California, I was like, oh my God, I have never seen this many subcultures. So it wasn't like I, experienced the world. So, even though you probably feel like everybody looked like you, I still feel like I was in a box, because everybody in Kentucky is pretty much Christian. So to experience people of different religion, so
all types of diversity.
Yeah, there's so many levels of diversity, but I feel like I was on diversity committee. I strive to be around, because I just hate, like, again, I don't want to be everybody's only black friend.
Right, and I think that's interesting that you noticed that from a young age, and that's something that you really want for your boys, all your boys.
Yeah.
All your boys.
All your babies.
All of them. So how is that for you? You got, they're their own friends.
We just have our own little world we built.
Yeah, but the contrast between California and Idaho, or like how you grew up versus how you're going to raise your kids when it comes to diversity?
Yeah, I feel like I have so many things to say. I'm trying to figure out how to organize it. I feel like just this conversation in general is really, really important, because, like we said, like, diversity comes in lots of different ways and different forms. I grew up Christian, primarily white area, and I didn't have very many friends that even were different cultures. There was some Latino, but just not a lot of diversity. And so moving to California, I was so happy to have my kids go to a school where there's, Black, white, Asian, French people, and like Persian, like there's just so much rich diversity. And it was beautiful to see how they would befriend different people, and they didn't see people for color or accents, or, they just had good friends that they're like, oh, they're fun and we have fun together. And I feel like our country hasn't even been diverse for that long. Like, being able to see diversity is a beautiful thing. Like, after watching The Butler, if you guys have ever seen that.
I love that movie.
And just to see the process of, like, how we were in slavery, and then for just 100 years, less than 100 years, like, where we've come from there. And I'm like, I love that my kids don't understand. Like, they asked me, like, what are Muslims bad? Like, they just heard, like, some term that somebody used, obviously, about, like, Muslims being bad or something. And like, I love that they don't know that. And I hate having to teach them. So, like, some part of it is like, this is part of our history. Like, I have to teach you about how sometimes we judge Islamic people because of this thing that happened, And you try to teach them in a way that they can look at history with still open minds and open hearts. Like, to teach them about slavery without teaching them to judge people. You know what I mean?
Right. It's good to let them like their brains work it out, and then to be there to nurture it in a positive. You know, we're all different. We all come from different walks of life, and this is a good thing. It's not a bad thing. And to like, I just am, as a mom, it's a lot of pressure to like make sure you say the right things, that you're not gonna, you know,
Influence them.
yeah.
Well, because we're growing up in a different day and age. I mean, that's one of the beautiful things about the internet and YouTube is that even if you don't live around it, you can see it.
Right.
And that to see it and to have a better understanding, you grow up with a better sympathy.
Right.
Like one of my girlfriends, not to put her business out there, she's in a interracial marriage. Her husband's white, she's black. And he had because he hates the thought of segregation and racism. He had a hard time sympathizing with anything that had to do with celebrating a culture and kind of isolating it or something, like to think of like the NAACP awards. He's like, why is there a need for that? But because he wasn't understanding that sometimes if someone else won't tell you you're worthy of excellence, you sometimes have to tell yourself.
Yeah, interesting.
And so to combat that negativity, sometimes you have to celebrate who you are. That's one reason why I'm telling you, I worked at a camp that was, it was a Jewish summer camp. And I love the fact that they celebrate their culture, and this is a culture that had been persecuted, and some had to to assimilate to fit in to escape persecution. So now it's like, one, we're not going to forget what we've gone through, and two, we're going to celebrate our culture like crazy. We're going to teach our children Hebrew. We're going to celebrate our holiday. Like, I absolutely love stuff like that. I'm like, that's not my culture, but I'm telling you what, wave your banner high, big, I love that. And that's what, when I hear you talk about like when you all do like a very strong cultural things in your family, I'm like, that's right. Like, why not? Like, come on. I feel like that's what makes us beautiful people, I don't understand everything about being Mormon, but when you all talk about
Trust me, I don't either. It's a part of life, though. We're here to figure it out, right?
Yeah, like that's what it is.
Said that.
But like in diversity, it's not about us assimilating to be all like. I'm not about the melting pot. That's one thing I'm not. I'm like, we are a mixed salad. I'm not, I don't want you to become me to appreciate me. I want us to be together and notice that we make this dope salad.
Oh, absolutely.
Where you can see all the pieces of it. You know what I'm saying?
Nobody likes just a salad with just green.
Right.
You gotta get that ranch dressing on there.
All of it. All of it. I'm like, we don't need to be a fondue where we all look alike. No, I want to see all the chunks and pieces that make us beautiful.
What about you? I'm interested to hear your experience.
Well, you guys know I'm a little mix of everything, but I grew up in the Bay Area. So in case anybody's new to the Moms U and you don't know, my father is Iranian or Persian. Technically, Persia does not exist anymore, and it's Iran. But a lot of people, when they say Persian, are referring to the culture, because that's been around for thousands of years. So I say Persian, sometimes I say Iranian. But just to clarify, now, my dad grew up there, and my mom is American and was born in Manhattan, grew up totally American, but her father is Jewish, tough guy from Brooklyn, and then her mom was, Southern from North Carolina. So my mom is already like a little bit of a mix, having a Jewish father and a Southern Baptist mom, and then she met my father, whose family is Muslim. My father is not religious at all. He's actually pretty anti-organized religion. Then they got together and had my brother, me, and my sister. So we are truly a mix. I mean, we grew up sort of celebrating and appreciating a lot of different cultures and religions. We would light the menorah for Hanukkah. We would also open presents. And we would also celebrate Persian New Year, which is coming up, which is my favorite time of year ever. But I grew up in the Bay Area, the California Bay Area, which is probably one of the most diverse places in the world, I would say. So I was the minority in my elementary school because it was Chinese, Japanese, Korean, Indian, other Middle Eastern people. So it was just always a mix, and I'm really proud of that. I really feel like I got lucky for where I grew up and for having such open-minded, culturally aware parents that were also very well educated, very well traveled. So I've always grown up with a mixture. One of my favorite aunts is Venezuelan, and she grew up making arepas for us and speaking Spanish. And I have Persian aunts that I just love. And so I've always loved embracing other cultures.
Yeah. Right.
And I think that, you know, California really is a special place in that you can be any weird, crazy culture that you want and you can fit right in, you know, because there's a little bit of everything here. And one thing that I've always done as a little kid that I really want for my son and hopefully future babies is to celebrate Persian New Year, which is, like I said, in March. So Persian New Year is actually the first day of spring. So it's usually March 20th or 21st, right when the vernal equinox hits. And now the last Tuesday of the year, you jump through fire. And what you're doing is you're giving the fire your weakness and you're taking the fire's strength for the new year. And this is to like prep you for the new year. It's so fun. But I love celebrating diversity and I love to travel and I love that my parents brought me up the way that they did, just being really open to anything. You know, I have an aunt in Vermont who's a lesbian who's raising 3 of the most perfect genius children on the planet, and I got to do both of the wives' makeup on their wedding day, and like I just love celebrating differences. Personally, I'm diverse.
You are diverse. I remember sharing with you when we did a collab at your house. I don't think, and if I did, they sure enough didn't tell me I had ever met any people that were Persian until I moved to California, because I don't think they've made it to Kentucky. There might be one or two. Yeah, and at least I don't think I've met them. There's just always so many different walks of life that you think you know it all, and then something slaps you across the face, and you're like, I didn't even know this existed.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm really enjoying this episode. Are there any last thoughts so that this isn't like a 7-hour episode?
We could talk forever.
I really could talk about this topic forever. I'm very passionate about it. But I think it's very important for us as moms, for mothers that are watching us, for the young people that are watching us, to be just very truthful with ourselves and with our children about the stuff that's happening in the world, and not try to sweep it under the rug, because what's going to end up happening is that we will repeat history.
Right.
We will, because history, what happened with racism and any type of prejudice is a lot to do with ignorance. So if you try to hide from the truth, no matter how ugly it is, if you try to hide from it, you're destined to repeat it. So I think it's just really important when we see stuff happening to people in the world that we know is wrong, is not to try to pretend like it's not happening, but, you know, in some form of fashion, be able to introduce it to our children so they can see this is not right. We don't want our children to be the perpetrator of it as well. You know what I'm saying? I don't want my son to be some homophobic black male, you know what I'm saying? I want him to feel comfortable to be around people of different sexual orientation or different cultures. So, you know, we want to believe in rainbows and sunshine all the time, but sometimes the rain does fall, and we just need to, you know, not say accept it, but point it out and talk about those things, you know.
Yeah, I feel like for my kids, I really just want to teach them that we're all a human family, like to appreciate and respect and embrace all the different cultures and walks of diversity, I guess. I think it's just important to teach them that we're all the same.
I say stay weird, stay open-minded, and like this episode. That's the most important lesson of today.
That is the biggest lesson of
to the Mom's
diversity.
View. That is all for our show. Thank you for watching. I love you guys, and we'll see you soon. Bye.